Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Hi if you are new here. So if you are new here, welcome. My name is Hannah and I am a 23-year-old mum to a 19-month-old little girl called Talia, and basically this channel is, I made it so I could look back on the things that we do and her life growing up. I recorded like the day that we got her first pair of shoes. I recorded 6 months of her baby-led weaning journey, like little days out that we've gone on. I think it's nice because I can look back on these and look at what we've done. So can Talia when she's a little bit older. But I also want this to build a community on here because we're all in it together. And I do feel like sometimes being a first-time mum or a stay-at-home mum can be quite lonely and you just want someone to talk to. So if that is you, then subscribe to my channel because that is also me. Anyway, talking to someone at our toddler group we go to today, and her little one is 5 months old and she's starting to like question baby-led weaning and like how they go about it, and you know her son is showing signs of being ready and everything, and it just made me want to go home and record this because I have actually been wanting to record this for some time now. But what I basically wanted to do today is to talk about baby-led weaning. As I mentioned earlier, I do have a channel on my I have a playlist on my channel where you can go and look at the first 6 months of Talia's baby-led weaning journey. Now, I didn't actually realise when I posted the first week how well that would do. It got like 27,000 views or something crazy, and I am actually overwhelmed by that. Like, I didn't realise it would get that much because all I wanted to do was to film a week by week of what Talia eats, because I'm a first time mum and I had no idea how to go about baby-led weaning. You know, I asked my midwife, my health visitor, and I googled some things, I looked on NHS, I spoke to a few people, but like being a first time mum, you have no idea what's actually right and wrong, and I just did what I think I needed to do. My health visitor told me at 5 months that Talia would be fine to eat, and my head was really like, I know that the guidelines say 6 months, and I am one of those typical like first time mums, you know, this is what the book says, I need to do what this says. I mean, I wasn't like that for everything, but I just know that eating and the whole choking, gagging, and that whole milestone, if you like, was such an anxiety thing for me because I was just so nervous about it. Yeah, I ended up giving Talia a little bit of mashed potato when she was 5 months old because it was like our Christmas dinner and I wanted her to be part of that. And then I didn't really start anything until she was 6 months. I did, before I did any of that, I did actually give her like a pouch of like, I don't know what it was, like a pear pouch or something like that, and I gave it to her in a high chair and I let her like play with it to see how she would react with it. In today's video I just wanted to talk about baby-led weaning, talk about it as a first time mum perspective, and talk about the things that I did. I wrote some notes down in my notebook, so I'm basically just gonna go through what I wrote down with you guys and talk about my perspective as a first time mum to baby-led weaning. Also, hopefully this can give you like some guidelines or some tips or some things to think about if that is the stage that you're at with your child. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I feel like this is going to be a super long video, so I'm just going to dive straight into this now, so let's go. I'm going to start at the beginning. If this is going to be a little bit like, is it sporadic? Like, because I'm looking at my notes and then talking. I think one of the first key parts to remember when starting baby-led weaning is that they only need a small amount. I got told this by, I don't know if it's like my health visitor or someone else, but like baby stomachs are really tiny, so like they only need like, I don't know, it sounds a bit insane when I look at my hand, but like that's the size of my stomach. Is that the size of my stomach? That can't be because I eat so much. I think a baby's fist is like their size of their stomach, so yeah, they really don't need a lot. And the first year, up to the first year, for the first 6 months, there's a going saying that everyone always says, food before 1 is just for fun. You know, you don't need to give your babies all this food to try because it's only fun, they're experimenting. They should get most of their nutrients from either breast milk or formula, so whatever you're giving your child, so they don't actually need the solids to fill themselves up, they just need to get used to it and try it and try the textures and all of that kind of thing. So I think that's a key part to remember, like don't get into your head that you need to give them like a big full-size meal, you know? So yeah, I think the first thing that you need to do is just find one food that's easy and convenient, because to be honest, that's what it is. Like at this point there's no good cooking a load of like meals, like you just need to start with something easy for you guys. and keep at it for a few days, especially when it comes to allergy foods, which I will get into a little bit later. I know people that, or kids that are allergic to random things, like not just what you would think is an allergy. I know someone that's allergic to like tomatoes or onion. So like, not that you're gonna give your baby an onion first like, I don't know, week of baby-led weaning. They could be allergic to anything. And I started baby-led weaning with Talia. I mean, I'd probably have to go back and look at these, but I'm pretty sure I started off with something simple like a banana, and I just mashed it up. Basically just gave her a mashed banana, and I gave that to her for about a week. Like, that was literally the start of my baby-led weaning journey. As they grow up and as they learn to eat more foods and try different textures and different things, the thing that I did end up doing is then like cutting the banana in a different way. It's a different way of eating a banana. So then once she's like mastered the mashed bit, then you can move on to like more of a finger food. Do you know what I mean? Another point that I'm just going to put in quickly now is like, when you try allergy foods, with allergy foods, I will say it's probably easier and better to try them early on, so you know if your baby is allergic to something or have a reaction to something. Yeah, once you've tried an allergy food, basically give it to them for about a good few days. Don't put 2 allergy foods together. Like, don't give them like, you know, scrambled egg on toast, because if you don't know if they're allergic or have a reaction to gluten or wheat or anything like that, then you also don't know if they have an allergy to egg, and you've put them both together, but then they do have a reaction to something, you have no idea what they've reacted to. So that is why you introduce one food at a time, nice and slowly, and then like after a few days, if you've given them egg and they're fine, then try it with toast, or maybe do toast on their own, and then if they're okay with that, then put the 2 together. I think that is what I did for a lot. I like tried them individually, and then if I knew she was okay, I put them together. Also, I feel like baby-led weaning is such a massive thing for first time mums, and something that you need to remember is like, now that they can start eating at 6 months, it's not like this life-changing thing until they're 1, in terms of like, now I've got Talia, she's 19 months old, she needs a routine. She needs breakfast at a certain time, a snack at a certain time, lunch at a certain time, dinner at a certain time. When like in the first 6 months, it's only for fun, and I feel like that's such a key thing to remember, that you don't need a routine as such. Try them on foods at a time that's convenient to you. I know that, again, going back to being a first time mum, I was so anxious to actually try food with Talia that I always waited for Chris to be home until it got to a point where I was aware of how she was eating and how she was getting on with it, and felt comfortable, and that I would do it on my own during the day. For like the first like couple of weeks, I think I just waited until Chris was home so I could do it with him, or like I would do, like, if I knew that she was right with the banana, I would give her a banana in the day, but then when Chris was home, or like at weekends, I would try something different. Okay, so things to start with if you're unsure about where to even begin with baby-led weaning. I did a lot of like mashed banana, but that doesn't mean that you have to do that. It just depends on what you've got in your fridge, in your cupboard. So what they say on like the NHS, which is probably what I went by, is to start with single veggies and fruits. I have them blended, mashed, or soft cooked. So yeah, you can have soft cooked sticks of carrots, apple, pear, broccoli. Yeah, you can have literally anything, but obviously make sure that it is cooled down, and don't give your baby super hot foods. Sounds so obvious, but at that time, I don't know, you might just forget. I don't know. So as I said, the health visitor said that we could start our baby-led weaning journey early at 5 months, because Talia was showing all the signs, but that is down to you if your health visitor says that. Like, don't think because your health visitor has told you something that you have to do it, because, you know, they're only there as a guide. They're not there to tell you what to do, they're there to guide you with what you could do. And yeah, don't just because my health visitor said that Talia was ready at 5 months, don't think that everyone's baby is ready at 5 months, because that's not always the way. So always check with the health visitor if you are, or a doctor or someone, if you are thinking about starting early, because yeah, you don't want to make a mistake. They do say to not give your baby too many like sweet fruits, because they can get addicted. Also, don't put any spices on them for a little bit, because yeah, like, they don't need spice, they don't need salt. Don't give them salt because they don't need salt, and don't cook with salt. If you are enjoying this video, then please don't forget to hit the like button, as it really supports my channel. And if you do want to see more like this, then please let me know. The foods that can cause an allergy or reaction are cow's milk, which they say don't actually give your child on their own until they're 12 months, but you can give it in stuff. So like if you do like scrambled egg, you can give them milk in that, but don't just give them milk. Egg, obviously. Oh, and with egg, always check for the red line stamp on the egg boxes. Foods that contain gluten, including wheat, barley and rye. And obviously one of the biggest allergies are nuts, peanuts. If you do give your child nuts and peanuts, then make sure that they are the ground or crushed. My child has just woke up. Are you okay? More things that you can have allergic reactions to are seeds, fish, shellfish and soya. For me, I was really anxious about trying foods with Talia because Chris has intolerances to pretty much everything. So I am almost expecting Talia to have an allergy to something at any point in her life. I don't think Chris has started until he was in like primary school, high school age. Another thing to make note of is once you have given your baby an allergy related food like egg, keep at it. Once it's been introduced and once it's tolerated, if you like give it to them but then don't for ages, then that's when they might not tolerate something, and then that's obviously when they react to something. That I find is like throughout the baby led weaning process, and even now, I don't buy foods just like, not just for her, like sometimes I do buy food for her, but like nuts. We don't have a lot of nuts, so it's not something that I'm just gonna buy just to make sure that she has nuts. Do you know what I mean? Like otherwise I'm just spending more money on a food shop that I don't need to buy because we don't have it. So trying to find the balance, you know. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about food groups. As I mentioned before about food groups and giving your baby sweet foods, include veggies that aren't so sweet. Broccoli, cauliflower, spinach. Helps your baby get used to having a variety of flavours and not just the sweet ones. Sweet ones include carrots and sweet potatoes. So yeah, I did give Talia a lot of sweet potato. I set myself a thing where every week we'd have to buy a new fruit, because we buy fruit, like mainly oranges, apples, bananas, maybe sometimes grapes, strawberries. But I wanted to try different foods or different fruits with Talia. So every week, I didn't want to spend so much money, but I would say, right, let's buy, I don't know, a new fruit every week. So that is what we did. So having foods that aren't so sweet helps them to prevent them from being fussy eaters. So hopefully you won't have a fussy eater. So if you've got a fruit that you want them to eat or at least try but they don't want to, I will try and insert a picture, but we had a dummy. You like have a lid that you take off and then you squeeze fruit in, whether it's like strawberries or bananas or oranges, the lid back on, and they basically suck it like a dummy. And we had one of them and we used it quite a bit actually, like with raspberries and stuff to begin with. Having finger foods and blended foods helps them to learn how to chew, move solids around their mouth, because obviously that is a whole new thing for them. So the quicker you can do that, the better it will be. But again, I feel like with that, just experiment, because this is a whole new ball game for you if you're a first time mum. One thing I will quickly say as well is when you are starting to baby led wean and they're starting to eat, I would say I still sit with Talia now, but I would recommend sitting down and watching them. Their main source of nutrients is either breast milk or formula, and that is the thing that will fill them up the most. So you're not giving them solids to fill them up, you're giving them solids to try and to get them actually having a full meal with you, I guess, or like actually having proper food. If it's just like a random daytime feed, have like their milk, like whether it's breast milk or formula, whatever you give them, maybe like a midday is a good time to start. Give them the milk and then give them some solids, because then they will actually be full up on the milk, but then at least they're trying solids, if that makes sense. Fill them up on milk first, whatever that normally is, and then make sure that they are very awake, very alert, then give them some solids. Does that make sense? So as soon as your baby turns 6 months, I I offered Talia, and I think what you should do is offer your baby some water. It's again getting them into that like new habit of like drinking something that's not either from your boob or from a bottle. If you guys did enjoy this and you did find it helpful, then please let me know in the comments, because I would really appreciate that. I am either reading from NHS or mainly my own experience. I only find a little bit on NHS because obviously I've done this with Talia. As I said before, I do have a playlist with, I think there's like 24 weeks or something on there of Talia's baby-led weaning journey, what I started with and how it finished and how it ended. Yeah, go and watch that if you guys are interested or are at an age with your babies where they need to start baby-led weaning. You kind of stealing my shot.
Yeah.
Relayed quite a bit of information from NHS, but also being a first-time mum, I've obviously gone through this. I'm not an expert, so don't count me down as the expert, because I'm really not. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a like, as it really supports my channel. Whether you are an anxious mum, a paranoid mum, a young mum, a first-time mum, or just want a friend because you're a stay-at-home mum, or you don't even have to go into any of those brackets, you're just a mum. Join my community of people, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.